We've got four very angry Robins on this week's episode of Where Robins Walk. Why on earth are we persisting with Armstrong? Plus, Struber doesn't have a plan B, so say some tweets. Here's one of them. Finbar says in the day his main job is to manage the squad, but we have next to no rotation, despite having a really difficult winter run of games. Lone striker role is so demanding, yet Reese is out there looking tired. Does he have a plan B? That's the main question we're putting to our panel this week. Thank you very much for joining us. We're also getting their September Player of the Month nominations, and we're also talking about refereeing standards. Are there actually any good ones in this league? Not the one that you had against QPR for certain. Plus, we're continuing with our A to Z of Bristol City. Last week we spoke about A, so who gets in for B? This is the nomination, of course, from AI. I'm pretty sure most of you can do a little bit better. Let's see how we get on. So join us at the end of the video for that. We've got Ethan, Sam, Liam, and Ben back with us, who themselves are, frustrated. I think one of you called it last week. Sam, you said you never beat QPR Ashton Gate, and so it came to pass. Were they the better side, though?
The second half they were, definitely. But we just ran out of ideas. I mean, I know I called that last week. They are our bogey team at Ashton Gate, and it come back to haunt me.
All right, let's run through it then. Ethan, let's do the positives first of all, shall we, Ethan? First of all, if you don't follow Ethan on TikTok, please do so. We'll put his link in the description below. What are we up to now? You are the largest Bristol City TikTok creator there is, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Positives then. Give me a couple from the QPR game before we tear Armstrong a limb.
I think the obvious one is the goal. And in particular, Neto Borg, how he never gave up on, quite frankly, a poor cross from Mark Sykes. I think he kept it alive and put it on a plate for Emma Reed somehow. It was a bit magic from the Brazilian. But yeah, in terms of positives, it is quite limited. Another poor performance at home. Is it getting worrying? I wouldn't say so. It's early doors, especially with the new management of Struber, but it's something to definitely delve into.
Yeah, this didn't happen under Manning though, Liam, did it? Sam says, all on the owner. If you can't back us up to be able to offer competent plan B, then sell up and go, I am done. We can't start that again. But have these posters got a point about a plan B? When you have gone a goal down or looking to chase the game, does it look like Struber can change the game from the bench?
I think it's becoming more and more apparent he doesn't trust what's on the bench. Like the original, the first tweet that was put out that we just seen though, that I don't understand why he's not rotating. You look at what QPR did; they made 6 changes to their lineup, and you can't honestly say, as a football fan, that the QPR squad is that much better than ours, that they can afford to make 6 changes, freshen legs, and have a plan B. But I think the biggest thing for me with Struber, he waits too long he is starting to show that he waits too long to make any changes. As soon as Kona equalised to make it 1-1 yesterday, that for me is when he should have gone, right, we need to go for this now. Go for broke. It's 1-1. We're either going to go down fighting or we're going to come out with something to shout about. He didn't do anything until they went 2-1 up in the 83rd minute, I think it was. That's when he made another attacking change. But I think the biggest bugbear for me, we're playing the same at home as we are away from home. At home, you have to go for the kill from the off. You have to go at teams. You have to be on the front foot and attacking. To me, it's too much like let them have the ball. Teams again are seeing that we can't break teams down to sit in a low block or park in the bus or whatever you want to call it these days. But for me, we have to be on the front foot. There's no, to me, the formation we use is a very defensive formation. It's very much transitional, breaking down the play and countering. To me, you play like that away from home. At home, you have to go for the jugular from the first minute to the last. You get a couple of goals up, then yeah, okay, you do take your foot off, maybe not foot off completely, but then you do go, right, we'll protect something and we'll play on the counter. But for me, at home, we have to be putting more attacking sides out. I'm starting to get a little bit. I wouldn't say worried, like Ethan said. It's not worrying yet, but that's 4 points from 4 games at home. we played a very poor Hull side and a newly promoted side in Charlton. Now, Oxford wanted it more than we did. They bullied us. They made 3 set piece count, and yesterday they used the pace in behind to their advantage as well. And it was 2 very soft goals yesterday. Poor defending. I'm going to single out Dickey and Tanner. I thought they were having a competition between the pair of them yesterday to see who could play the worst or who could give the ball away the most. The pair of them. Every time Tanner was played the ball from Dickey, instead of letting it roll across his body and open himself up, make the pitch big, he's turning back. His first touch is back inside, narrow the pitch down, playing it back to Dickey, who's then under pressure from someone pressing him. I could go on about it for days. It's just, you can tell I'm frustrated. It was a very, very poor performance.
Ben, I'll throw this tweet at you if that's okay. There's quite a lot to unpick here, so yeah, stand by. Sam says, Twine and Reese were crap for the 4th game in a row. Armstrong rubbish as usual, and Fally given 5 minutes when teams sit back and defend with 11 men. Not the only tweet there to call out Twine as well. Let's deal with him first, shall we? What's going on with Scott Twine?
I think he's just struggling for confidence at the minute. Like, he's a very frustrating player at times. We're not seeing the best of him at all. I think he was poor yesterday. It was one of the worst I've seen him play for quite a while. It doesn't help. We don't really have anyone to bring on that can play just in the number 10 roles behind the striker. So we haven't really got a replacement for him at the minute. But I think he could do with. He could do with not starting a game. Maybe he has obviously started every game. It helped last year when we had George healthy. I think he was a good replacement for Twine, and he was a better player than Twine. But apart from free kicks, I can't really see much of a value of having him on the pitch.
Yeah, do you agree, Ethan?
I think he's definitely a luxury player. I think he reminds me of Casey Palmer from a few years back. He can provide you countless magic occasions, but in terms of off the ball and in transition, it doesn't offer enough. I don't think to warrant a start in every single game. There's quality there for sure, but yeah, I think he's a bit more of a luxury player than a player that starts 46 games a season.
Okay.
Can I add on Twine as well quickly? The thing that infuriates me with Twine, for someone who has got that special moment with a set piece from shooting distance, for someone who's so good at that, his corners and set piece delivery from out wide positions is awful. It is beyond awful. But put him in a shooting range, it seems to come alive for him. I don't understand how it can be so chalk and cheese.
He needs to shoot from outside the box more often as well. Even when he's playing, if he's so good at free kicks, he can hit a ball so well. Why does he try yesterday? It was like a set piece at one point. He was kind of through. He should have just shot. I don't understand why he's not.
And as well, though, if he would have stuck away that chance in the first half yesterday, then we'd all be talking differently about him. He's not great at corners. Like, free kicks, amazing, but if he would have stuck away that chance in the first half, we'd all be raving about him today.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Armstrong then. Let's get the elephant out of the room, shall we then, Sam? I can't believe the amount of hate that comes on social media following a Bristol City loss for one player. If you look at here's one in particular. Tom says, poorly backed in the summer. Players letting him down. Twine's been a passenger, as we've already discussed. Give Cornet the minutes Armstrong gets. He's an awful footballer. Sam, is he an awful footballer? QPR tried to warn you, by the way.
Yeah, to be fair, we watched him in that pre-season friendly away at Cheltenham at the start of last season when we first signed him. He looked a world beater. But then we seen the real Armstrong. And I never want to criticise one of our players. I always want to back him. But there's just you can't back him the way he's playing at the moment.
Ethan, you play a decent level of football yourself. Would he get a game at your level at the moment in time?
Nah, yeah, for sure he would. It's one of them with Sinks. I think his confidence is probably shot right now. And as you know, football, it comes down to confidence, it comes down to momentum. I'm not excusing his performances, but I also do think that he'd have a lot better chance of, getting a few more chances, tucking a few away if he had repeated support. And I think right now, and I get people's frustrations, I get people's criticisms because they are fair. But I do think, like Sam touched up on, as much as people want to say anything, every single time he puts that shirt on, I'll back him and support him, and I can't speak badly about him because I want him to do well for the club. I want him to do well for himself. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and slag him off, but yeah, I get people's frustrations.
All he needs is one of them Bass Savage moments that to go off his shoulder or off his backside, and then and then he might get that bit of confidence.
Yeah. John Gradwell says, yeah, Ross McCoy's missed on the subs. Armstrong should be nowhere near this first team. Ben, do you agree?
I think he's a poor footballer. Like, his touch is just not great. But obviously I'll back him and stuff. I mean, we all want him to do well, but I don't know. It feels like, I know we don't know, but it doesn't feel like he's got the right attitude at times. He doesn't seem to like understand what the fans want. Like, the fans always want to see someone that's like running hard, they're really putting in 100%. And the way we see him kind of dawdle around up front, I don't think it's given off the best impression. Well, you want to, especially when he's on such a poor run of form in terms of goal, if you want to see someone like really try and sprint in for everything, I just don't think he offers that. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's a poor footballer, and he does just need that one little lucky goal.
Liam, everything's going to be all right, isn't it? When we get all our players back, I mean, obviously we miss Knight, and I mean, you're back in 10th, your favourite position, as we head into the international break. But yeah, I mean, you're going to be okay this season, aren't you?
We are missing a lot of players, but we can't keep using that excuse every week. The players that still out there have to perform. It's as simple as that.
We're not missing any strikers or attacking midfielders, wide players necessarily. So we need them to step up.
But it's one of them. I think I come back to Struber. He's got to find a way to. I think I put a tweet out saying he's got to find another way to win games. It's no good flogging the same formation. It's no good flogging the same players week in, week out. Look at Jason Knight. He's been flogged for so long, and now he's out for 4 weeks with a torn abductor muscle. Injuries will happen. I think we'll be all right. I think it's one of them. It's flip of a coin. It's either going to go one way or the other. And at the moment, with how we're playing, we're not playing particularly. I mean, we played well at Preston. We did okay against Ipswich. But yesterday, it's like the fight had gone. It didn't seem about. I wasn't able to get to the game, but I obviously watched it on the TV. There didn't seem to be a buzz about the place and the ground either. I think the weather's taken its toll yesterday, which I'm not using as an excuse because it was the same for both teams. But it just seemed the atmosphere seemed very flat, and obviously I think the players pick up on that. But again, they didn't really give us much to shout about.
I'll tell you what, though, with our injuries, though, Zach Viner moving into that midfield role, is he the new Pirlo? I thought he had an amazing game in midfield. He broke out the play. He did make some good passes. It's just a shame the rest of the team couldn't fulfill how he was playing.
I honestly think we're struggling at the back without him there, because I don't think Tanner. I know Ethan, you're a Tanner fan. You bang the drum for him. I don't mind him, but he has been very poor. He's a very much a confidence player, and where he's been at the team and then thrown back in, he hasn't lived up to it. And I think the only way putting Zach back there gives Dickey that little bit of cover, because I think there's a lot of mistakes coming into Dickey's game that now we're seeing. And Viner has got.
Sorry. We need McNally back, and then we'll play Viner in that midfield role. And he's new Pirlo, I'm telling you.
but I look at McCrory. McCrory played there week in, week out for Aberdeen. It's not a position that's unnatural to him, where Viner's only played there here and there. Sorry. No, I think putting Viner back in his back three, breaking up that back three, has killed us in the last few weeks of him, Dickey, and Atkinson. Because, like I said, Viner has got that turn of pace that he makes up for Dickey's mistakes, and it's becoming more apparent when he's not there. It's now becoming more apparent why he's so vital in that position. I think putting McCrory into midfield alongside Randall until we do have a few people back, and bring Sykes in at wing back if he's going to continue with this formation. Either that, we go to a back four, and we go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1.
Right, let's leave that game aside then. First of all, if you're just coming across the channel, do drop us a quick like and subscribe. We're growing a nice little community over here, and press that subscribe button there. We would love to get to 200 over the international break. That'd be absolutely massive for us. And thank you very much for all your support in the previous weeks. Right then, you know how football makes stories, Ethan, don't you? Well, here's a little story for you. Norwich City have lost every single home game under Liam Manning so far. And here come little old Bristol City, straight back after the international break, to give him his first home win.
I desperately think that's going to be a telling factor. You know, we have to go over there and want to kill, like Liam touched up on earlier. It's a huge game. There'll be a lot riding on it with obviously the discourse around Liam Manning. If he's still in the job by then, if we don't win that, then the big problem.
Yeah, Sam, I mean, the players should be up for that one, shouldn't they? The players are going to want to prove a point, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, 100%. They're going to want to prove them. You left us at the wrong time. And I mean, we went to Norwich last season. We ended their unbeaten long run at home. We'll go there again, and we'll put Liam Manning out of his job and show him why he was wrong to leave Bristol City.
Might not even get there, as Ethan said. We'll be next time we see you, we'll be looking back on that game. Right, let's do our September Player of the Month then. One name from each of you, please, if that's okay. Ben, kick this off.
I'm going to go Adam Randall. I think he's been really, really sturdy in the midfield.
Liam?
Zach Viner. No other name for it.
Ethan?
Yeah, I've got to agree, Liam's at Viner, just because, you know, he's stepped up when it mattered into that midfield role and he's been consistent.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree with them. Zach Viner, he's come from a lot of criticism and he's stepped it right up so far this month.
Okay. We're also chatting this week about refereeing standards. I'll try and keep this positive chat, if that's okay, Liam. Are there any good ones?
Is there any standard in this league?
In the division? I don't want to get into is it getting worse, because we know it's getting worse and we don't want VAR, but have you seen any good ones so far in the 9 games?
No, not so far. It's just so inconsistent with them all. One week something's a foul, next week it isn't, and vice versa. So no, it's not getting any better. But at the same time, I don't want VAR because I like being a football fan and not having to wait all the time. The short answer is no.
The second QPR goal, any of you have an issue with it? Because there's been some contention online that
definite push in the back. I've seen better refereeing standards. I went and watched Portishead under 16s last weekend, and the referee was much better than what we see in the Championship.
I think it was a bit. I could understand if it was given, but I think McCory did make a meal of it. But that being said, 2 hands in the back is a foul. But then on the flip side, the penalty that we didn't get given, where Jimmy Dunn just absolutely clattered Borges about 2 minutes after, and the ref's looking right at it. I don't understand. He wasn't even looking at the ball when he's jumped for it, and he's just clattered Borges. So it's ridiculous.
And that with the penalty decision against Ipswich the other night, you know, if that was terrible.
It was a penalty though. He's clipped his leg when they've crossed paths.
Yeah, but then he took 2 steps before he clipped his own foot and then went down.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's one of them, isn't it?
Let us know if you've had the name of any good referee in this division. We're trying across all our channels to find the name of one of them. Let us know. Finally, then this week, a little bit of fun we're doing. You joined us last week. We did the A to Z. We started the A to Z of Bristol City. We're up to the letter B this week. No, we're not allowed to put in Bristol as the B. So we're looking for a player or a stadium or an event or a time. What best represents this famous old club with the letter B? Kick this off for us, Sam.
Well, you know, you got like Joe Bryan, Josh Brownhill, but in my time, it was Super Bobby Taylor. It's got to be Super Bobby Taylor.
Well, it'd be a T, so we can't have that one.
His first name's B, though.
No, Liam.
For me, it's the Brazilian Adriano Basso. What a keeper! I don't think we've had a keeper as good since He was brilliant. We got him from Woking. When he got recommended to Gary Johnson, I think it was his brother's a scout, and he was at Woking. And when it was almost like an Ali Deer situation for Southampton. Took a chance on him, and he was brilliant. He even went to the World Cup with Brazil as the third choice keeper in 2002. Brilliant.
All good shouts, these. Ben?
Yeah, I like that shout. I think Joe Bryan definitely as well, though, because it's obviously local, came through the academy, and was probably one of our best, if not best, left backs the past 10 years. So yeah, I'll put him up there.
Okay. Nobody wants to put the gas in, do you? There's, they part of your history now. No? Okay. Ethan?
Basso was the one that came immediately to my mind, which is weird because before my time, Brownhill, Brian has mentioned, but I'm going to throw a different one in the mix. I'm going to go Nathan Baker. Specifically, that one slide tackle. Every Bristol City fan will know it, but I think that just sums it up perfect.
He put his body on the line every game, Nathan Baker. He was quality, to be fair.
We're missing a player like that now.
Yeah, we could do with him at the back right this minute.
He would head a brick back if you threw one at him. He was that committed.
Right. Well, how do we settle this? I think we'll go with Nathan Baker. I think. Well, that sounds a really good shout. If all of you are nodding your head along with that one, thank you very much. Unless in the comments you can let us know, any sponsor, chairman, manager that you'd put here in for B. Give us a shout in the comments. We'll get these shouted out next week. Right, we'll give you a week off from talking about Bristol City. If that's all right, then we'll see you the other side as you head to Norwich City and an old reunion with an old friend. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time to review how that's gone. Have a good one.